Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, buddy. Good morning. Oh, don't eat the camera. Kenzie's like, are we going for a ride?
Like, what's happening? Where are we going? What's happening? What are we doing?
She's all about the truck.
She is all about the truck. It's the best thing ever.
Okay, so we just got a delivery. You want to show us what we just got? Yeah. And then we're going to dive into this very busy weekend.
Yeah, it's very busy.
Yes. Some of this is included in that very busy weekend. Actually, all of this is.
Well, we can just work our way over.
All right.
So we went to Lowe's to drop off some stuff, pick up some stuff, and I went out and looked at the plants, as I always do. I mean, you can't go to a plant area and not look around. And I've been looking for some fruits, like some fruit trees and things like that. And I found these blueberry bushes that could use some TLC, and the place agreed, and they gave us a really good deal on them. So I ended up taking all they had, which was 4. So we got 2 powder blue and 2 Brightwell blueberries. So that was exciting.
And you said they agreed to a price, so you got...
Oh, I said they agreed that they were not looking good, so got a good price on them. They gave us a discount.
Right, 50% off.
Yes.
Which is great.
Yeah.
So couldn't say no, and I think a viewer, or a few viewers said, never pass up a good deal on a plant,
Well, they said if you found plants that you wanted, even though you didn't know where to put them, just put them in planters until you find them out. Yeah. So I'm listening. So
then we ended up going to kind of a discount lot place, and we got these tubs, these Tupperware type tubs, plastic tubs, food grade quality, PP5, PE5, something like that. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Probably going to need more. I think originally we were going to
put the blueberries in them.
Put the blueberries in them, get them a bigger pot. But our neighbors
decided to dig up their perennials this weekend. And one neighbor gave us everything you see in these 5 plants. So it's a mixture of yarrow and pansies and gladies, lots of lazy Susans, and a couple other varieties.
These ones are a little bit rougher. I had to get these guys out of the direct sun yesterday. I moved them in the shade because they were just getting blasted in heat, not doing so well. But I think they'll recover today. We'll give them some more water. And then you ended up planting some more things in these planters that you got at Lowe's for a good price. Yeah,
so I had already decided to do, these are going to go in our landscaping area, and since we're working on landscaping this weekend, I thought I'll go ahead and put the seeds in. So these are a mixture of a bunch of different seeds and bulbs. One has like elephant ear in it, one is lavender, one is a mixture of a bunch of different perennials like daisies and forget-me-nots and a bunch of other things. And then the last one, I honestly now I don't remember what it is.
Bulbs and...
Well, the tulips and the elephant ear are the only bulbs.
Got it.
Everything else was seed.
Oh, okay.
So, but I put it in a video, so I'm sure that'll get something. Then these are the overwintered peppers that Nate had worked on last year.
I kind of forgot to water them, so we'll see how they go.
I think they're dead.
Okay.
But we'll see. And then a neighbor just this morning, a different neighbor just this morning said, hey, I dug up some more perennials. I know you just got some, but here's some more. So these are hostas, regular and striped. And and hostas need shade, so we'll have to move these ones. Everything else can take sun. So these are gonna be some lamb's ear, some Marna, I think it's Monarda, I'm not sure. Mountain blues, Coreopus. She wasn't sure what these pink ones were. She just said it was highly spreadable, like it travels really, so wherever you put it, it's gonna sprout up everywhere, so be careful. Some more glads. This is just some striped grass. It won't get any bigger than this, so it's just a really small, short one. And then some more daylilies. So
Cool.
yeah,
We got a lot.
all sorts of stuff.
And then, is this new?
That I bought that for myself for Mother's Day.
Oh, okay.
So that is a small hydrangea. And it was in really rough shape. So again, it was on clearance and I cut off the really bad parts and cut off the bad leaves. It's getting a little sunburnt. I'm gonna have to find a better spot for it, but you can see it's starting to come back already.
Cool.
Yeah,
Sure.
We've got plants.
Yeah, we got plants. So we actually the reason that we went to Lowe's was because I started working on and I finished the filling the French drain with gravel. So we got the whole thing filled all the way around to the house, and I had to get an adapter. So I have this pop up drain at the end here. So when it rains really heavy, if the water gets filled up, it'll pop up out of here and then drain down the rest of the way. I didn't have the adapter go from this to the corrugated pipe, so we had to go to Lowe's for that. But it ended up being a really successful trip because she got all those blueberries and we got planters, and the French drain is now done, which is great. So now we can start doing the pea gravel and the landscape fabric and getting that all finished up. In addition to that, this weekend, so I have a list because we did a lot this weekend. So we ended up going to a Mennonite store. Let's head over there.
Okay.
Not to the Mennonite store, but to
I was like, that's gonna be a hike.
yeah. Ended up going to a Mennonite store and buying a bunch of feed for our pigs and our chickens. And come on, Slowpoke, let's go. So what we ended up getting was a whole bunch of different types of feed. So we got chick starter feed. So we got 10 bags of chick starter feed, I think. We got 3 bags of swine feed.
5.
Okay, 5 bags of swine feed. And then we also got some layer feed.
Dog.
Oh, that's the dog food, okay. We got, oh, I have it closed, shoot. So we got some layer feed. And as you can see, we have these barrels too.
Which we also picked up this weekend.
Yeah, so what we're gonna end up doing, you all right?
Nope.
So here's the layer feed in there. There's 5 bags in there and 5 bags in here. And so we're gonna start storing all of our food in these barrels because we don't want to have mice and rats and squirrels and all that stuff come in and eat the food. And it's just kind of a pain, really, just having it all stacked here because it's really hard to get to when you have, like, for example, if I need the new bag of sheep minerals, which are underneath there, I have to move everything. So we ended up getting 8 50-gallon barrels, right?
Yes.
And what we're doing, in the process of doing, is putting 2 barrels at each of the different animal stations. So, for example, over at the pigs, we have 2 barrels, 1 to...
1 for water, 1 for food.
Yeah, 1 for water, 1 for food. There you go. Easiest way to do it. So, I'll show you an example over at the chicken space. You can probably see it by now, but 1 barrel for water, 1 for food. We're not opening up the feed and putting it directly in the barrel. We're keeping them in their feed bags, and then we'll open up the feed bags and put them into a 5-gallon bucket and fill it with water and kind of let it ferment over the next couple days, because this stuff is mash and it's really dusty, and we're finding that we get better results when we just add it to water, because then it consolidates all the fine dust into edible foods. What else did we do this weekend, honey? What did we get down there?
A freezer.
So the freezer came. Yep. So now we have 2 freezers down in the basement, and that'll be used for the chickens that we're going to be processing in about a week or 2 weeks from now.
Not this coming weekend, but the following weekend.
Okay, so 2 weekends from now, because the Murray Big Red broilers, they are just about to size and ready to go.
Yep, they're big girls. And they're so much more attractive than the Cornish cross.
Yeah.
The Cornish cross are just crazy.
They're gross. Okay, so we're reading our notes here.
Food baskets. We also got, when we got those black totes for the plants, we also got new nesting boxes or more nesting boxes.
You okay? Do you need to go?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
We got more nesting boxes for the chickens. They're just not heavy enough though, so we're gonna have to figure out.
Yeah, they're like the size of a milk crate, but milk crates are really expensive now. And so these are the same thing, but they're a little bit thinner and lightweight, so we'll have to add some weight to the bottom of them before, and then fill them up with.
Yeah, I didn't get very far down.
Nope.
Oh, that was everything. That was everything for Friday.
Yeah, I was gonna say that wasn't everything.
And then while we're down here, those of you who follow our friend Sean at the Modern Yeoman know that his rooster fighter was a bit of a jerk, and it got to the point where he started attacking Sean's head when he would bend over to do chores. And as you all know, they have a baby.
They just put a video about that last night, and I'll put a link down below or up on a card here for you to watch that video if you haven't seen it.
So we have extra roosters. We ordered these guys in the winter time, and so there was minimums that you had to have in order to get the birds shipped out, and so they didn't have a lot of females available, so we ended up just getting extra of these Rhode Island Reds, and we had 11, and so Sean took one Saturday, and we still have 10 of these guys. We'll end up keeping probably 4 or 5 of them as roosters on our homestead. They're very sweet.
Yeah, they are very
They're
sweet.
very gentle. We haven't handled them at all, but they still don't really run from us, and they definitely don't attack, and they're not fighting each other, which is fantastic. They've just been very sweet birds, so definitely a temperament of a rooster we want to keep around.
Yeah, I do handle them.
Oh, that's right.
Whenever I feed them, I go up to them and I pick one up or feed them. So.
It's just me. I'm the one who doesn't handle them.
Yeah. Changed up our gate system here. So this is the stretchable, I don't even know what these are,
spring-loaded gates.
Spring gates. Makes it a lot easier to get in and out as needed. And they carry the amperage or the ohms or whatever. They carry the voltage just fine and keep it going down the line, but it makes it a lot easier to get in and out of there.
Yeah, if we need to take the lawnmower in there or haul in, like when we brought in the barrels, that was much easier than normal, having to try to lift them up and over the normal ropes.
Yeah. What else do we got?
I baked a whole bunch of bread on Saturday.
Yeah. What kind of bread was it?
Just white bread. I just made. We have deli meat, so I wanted to make sandwich sizes. I didn't make big loaves. I just made like sub sandwich, so we could have fresh bread for sandwiches and stuff. Because as we're working outside on this pea gravel, which Nate did, we can show what you worked on Saturday.
Yeah, this was a little bit of Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all mixed. So you can see this area here where there's nothing laid down. Starting from here's the edge right here, and so it's not laid down. There's no fabric, and that's because when I think we explained this already, maybe not. When we had the driver back bring this 10 tons of pea gravel, we asked him to back down and start dumping down there, because this was all this fabric was laid down. It was ready to have gravel on it. And when he started driving forward, the tires spun and grabbed the fabric and ripped it, just ripped it down. And he started driving, not realizing it, and started dumping the gravel all over the bare dirt here. So that meant I had to shovel up all of this gravel out of the way to find the edges of the landscape fabric, so that way I could stretch it back out, put it back in its place, and then put the pea gravel back down on it. So that's a lot of work to move that pea gravel by shovel. You know, we don't have
so much for being prepared for it.
Yeah, so that's what I worked on also, in addition to moving the, that was 6 tons of gravel to fill the trench, and...
That was another at least 5 or 6 tons that you moved.
You think so?
I'd say that looks about the same size as our first 5-ton pile.
Yeah, that was a lot of gravel. So, as you might imagine, very, very sore.
Levi, it's
hey.
not chase the chicken around the tree. She does not think that's a fun game, buddy.
No.
All right, so let's head over to the chicken coops, because we kind of...
Oh yeah, that's right.
We hit on quite a few of the other things that we did on Sunday already. Levi, sir.
Yeah, we're not doing this necessarily in chronological order.
No.
But it was this weekend. So
it was this weekend.
Lots we did.
Oh, we got to open that.
Oh, forgot about these. Here, let's let them out. I forgot that this was part of the morning routine now. So...
Yesterday.
I'll let them out. Let's see if they even know how to get out.
They're like, I don't know.
We don't know this routine yet. So as you can see in here, you got little baby chicks.
These are 7 female Rhode Island Reds. They're just over 2 weeks old now. And the weather isn't getting below the 50s at night. And it's in the 80s in the daytime. So it is good weather for them to start coming out, getting on fresh grass, and getting some exercise. So we'll move this portable AV2 in. It's got wheels. It's like a little chicken tractor. We put it here to start, and we'll take them going this way.
Yeah, we'll just kind of move it. Since there's such small chickens, it's going to take a while for them to eat up all the grass and poop and manure and make it a good scratched area. So it'll probably be every 4 or 5 days, probably. Before, you know.
Versus like almost twice a day sometimes when they're bigger.
When they're much bigger. But yeah, this was their first night out. Put them into the main area, locked them up so they know that's their home. And now part of the morning routine is going to be letting them out. Yep. And then eventually we'll just keep that open and they can go in and out
after a couple
as
nights
they want.
that we know they can get up and down, then we'll do that. And so I started with cleaning all 3 of the coops out. I did that yesterday. And then put the new babies out here. We had both of these nesting boxes had a broody hen in them. So
that side and this side.
This side. And then also that one of our main egg crates in the carport also had a broody hen. It's the first time we've ever had 3 broody hens at once. We've had 2 before. So we had this other AV2 in that right now it's open, and we keep it open. Typically we keep it completely open so the girls can use it as a nesting box for the ones that were raised in there.
Like a laying box?
Yeah, a laying box. So what we ended up doing is we ended up moving the 3 broody hens over here.
I'm gonna actually lift this up and get some airflow going.
Oh, looks like she kicked out some. They've all switched. They're not laying on the same eggs, but that's okay.
Yeah, you don't like that, do you? Just leave me alone.
But it looks like they kicked a couple eggs out. But all 3 broody girls are in here with their eggs that they were laying on. And it is Sage. She's a Brahma olive Agar mix, so she is one of Lucky's hens. And she's the white one with the gray collar.
That's this one over here.
Yep. And then Karen is from our original 8 flock. She's the all black Nor Moran. And that's our second time going broody. She, if you remember, she hatched out the very first animals ever born on our homestead. And then Donna is from Sir Rosalot's first batch. And so it's Sage and Donna's first time going broody. Karen's second time.
So we have these closed so that way they don't wander too far, but they can come down to fresh grass. They got water and they got food, and we're going to just let them be in here for
probably a couple days before we open it up and then allow them to roam, because we wanted them to know that because we moved them and we moved their eggs.
Yeah.
So this was a bit of an experiment, because we've always just let broody hens stay where they were, but unfortunately they picked the 3 main nesting boxes, and the other girls were laying on top of them. And they just kept like, they would have 2 or 3 chickens sitting on top of them trying to lay eggs, and they kept getting more and more and more eggs, and it was getting really hard to, we would have to get under there and keep marking them. So instead of doing that, we just were like, we have this extra coop, let's just see if we can get them transferred over here. And it looks like all 3 girls are sitting on eggs, not the eggs that they originally were sitting on, but that's okay.
Yep.
They're all sitting on eggs.
Yeah, they were not happy for a while, and they kind of refused to sit on the eggs for a little bit, but then they're like, all right, we're here, let's just do it.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah, all right, what else?
What else? What
else did we do? What else did we do?
When we brought the barrels out, we filled up water in one of them, and then, like we mentioned, food was in the other. We
filled up 2 barrels of water, so this one and the one over by the meat birds, and then we have 2 more barrels up at the hoop coops that we're going to put food into and add water into.
Yep.
And then the 3 that you saw already in the carport that have just food in them.
Yep. And so when you were filling up water, you sprayed down.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Our Kraemer meatmobile, it's working really well, but the girls, or the birds, like to get on top of it.
That's where they sleep at night.
Okay, they sleep on top of it, and that means that they poop on it, and there was a lot of poop. And so since I already had the hose over there filling up the 50-gallon barrel, I thought might as well just hose it down. So I spent, it was probably like 10 minutes worth of just hosing down and getting all of that, oh good, they got out, getting all of that poop off of the top of the Kraemer meatmobile. And so I gave the grass some really high dose of nitrogen in that area. So it should bloom really, really nicely over the next couple weeks. So that's nice to have that all clean. I did end up accidentally breaking the meatmobile, the handle that I used to pull and push the meatmobile. I, for some reason, didn't use a full 2x4. I used kind of one that was ripped in half. And there was a knot right in the center, which I didn't realize. And so that makes a weak point. And one day when I was trying to move it, it just snapped right in half. So now it takes 2 of us to move the meatmobile until I get it fixed.
Everything else besides laundry.
Yeah.
And
our normal living stuff.
Yeah. I picked some honeysuckle.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna be working on making some honeysuckle jelly. And honeysuckle jelly is basically just honeysuckle, lemon juice, and then you make that into a jelly. It's a softer jelly, so it's a spreadable jelly. So I'm gonna be making that hopefully today. And then everything else we did was up at the hoop coop.
Okay, let's go up there. Let's go, we'll stop at the honeysuckle place where you picked.
I got the majority of it down by the road.
Oh, okay.
Because it was way easier.
Oh, because it was at the fence line,
It
right?
was eye level. I didn't have to get up on I tried getting on ladders for some of this stuff, but there were so many bees in this one. I just wanted to leave the bees alone, and there was so much poison ivy. So I found
Here's a perfect one. Oh, what is this little flower? Is that part of honeysuckle?
No.
This flower?
It's part of that tree.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. It's part of the...
Yeah.
That's really pretty.
Yeah.
But yeah, a whole bunch of honeysuckle.
Yeah, they weren't open yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So they were not quite bloomed yet. I did pick that one. But you only pick for jelly. You only picked open, blooming. You don't want the pods.
Oh, okay.
So we cleaned out this one.
Yeah, this hoop coop, I had been storing all of my tools in here, the tools I was using to make the hoop coops. And when I finished it, I just stuck them all back there under the tarp to keep it dry. So we cleaned that out. Since we were up here already with the truck to deliver the 2 barrels, we took the opportunity to clean that out and organize all my tools in the, well, all of those tools in the carport. So that was nice. Then what did we do here?
So all of the chicken coops that I cleaned out And the compost piles, we just brought them up here to give these guys more compost to dig through. And this was a huge pile, and they've spread it out.
Yeah,
quite a bit.
It was up to my hip, the height of the pile, and yeah, they within 12 hours, they've already flattened it out. So I'll have to go back in there and pile it up again. I want to get some water to water it down. Oh, that's cute. But we do the same thing with this one too. This is a pile that they had flattened out, so I'll come in here and raise it back up and let them turn it again.
Yep. So that was pretty much our weekend.
Yeah. So we also have this netting here that's kind of just sitting here for a while. We came up with a layout that'll work to get 3 nets to cover all of the coops, but we're waiting for gates to arrive because I don't want to have to keep going over the fence with my leg.
Because it's 4 foot tall and it's a permanent one. It's not like the other one, so we don't want it to start sagging.
Yeah. So once we get the 3 gates in, then we'll put up this net in its design that we came up with. But meanwhile, I connected and put together the charger so that way it can start charging via solar, and it'll have plenty of charge to power the fence. So today is going to be
Rest.
no. Today is not going to be rest. We rested a little bit on Saturday because it was raining really bad. So it was about 4 o'clock or so. It started raining really heavily. So we both took that opportunity to just chillax. Yeah. So today we're going to be laying down some landscape fabric, so that way we can start bugs, getting that pea gravel spread out so we can finish up the landscape in front of the house and do the raised beds and start planting some more things.
Yes.
So
we're working on our compost and having the chickens do the work for us. We'll get better at it, but we'll probably have to get some more compost so that we can start planting the corn in the fields.
Yeah.
Because we need to get that in, because we need to have that planted and growing before we can put the beans in.
Yeah,
So we'll get there.
I feel behind, but you know what? It's a long growing season here, so.
We're only on our own timeline.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, so busy weekend.
Yep.
Gonna be a busy day today. We did release a video yesterday. Yeah, we released a video yesterday where we explored a machine shed at the 1970s house. If you haven't seen that, again, I'll put a link down below. It's a fun one. That place, there's some weird stuff that happened. It's a weird one.
It's just odd setup, but nothing creepy. Don't worry, it's nothing scary. There's no.
It's just odd.
It's just
strange
weird.
and odd.
You know, like everything else that we're finding.
Yeah.
It's eclectic. It's a good way to say it.
Yeah. All right. Well, sorry about not posting on Friday. Oh, on Friday. Since I didn't post Thursday, basically what happened was there was probably a 5.5 to 6 foot black snake that was right over by the hoop coops, and I had to relocate that. I kind of told you the story about it, but basically I had to catch it 2 or 3 times to get it back in the bag and then take it over to the opposite side of the property. It was a big one. It would have easily taken down one of those chickens.
Yeah.
And it was heading that direction. And then there were some other things. I think some of it was the blueberries and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we covered it all.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what the picture was that I posted on our community post.
Yep.
So with that, we will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye.